What's up, y'all? I just wrapped up my conversation with Lauren Chan, who is not just a model and a TV personality and an entrepreneur. She is truly an inspiration. She founded Henning, which is a plus size luxury brand, and she's the first lesbian and first AAPI cover model for Sports Illustrated. I'm just in awe of the conversation we had. She covered what it feels like to see representation in art and movies and music. She talked about politics. She talked about the current moment we're in, and she talked a lot about queer joy, all the way from finding queer joy in her upcoming marriage to finding queer joy in her friends and her community. I can't wait to hear what you thought of our conversation. You are not just a queer woman, you're also a member of the AAPI community. I wonder if you can talk about how those different lived experiences, how the path that you've walked has helped to shape the work that you do every day.
I think my first huge lesson in terms of work and purpose was to lean into what makes me different. And at the time it was my size. And so I was working at Condé Nast, I was an editor there, and no one was talking about size inclusion and plus size fashion. And I started doing that and really was in the perfect publication. I was at Glamour magazine under Cindy Levy, and she really let me run with the concept of fashion for everyone. I later left and started my own plus size luxury fashion business. And then the week that that was sold and published, your guess is as good as mine as to how this happened, but I became a Sports Illustrated swimsuit rookie. And I was the first lesbian to hold that title. Later became the first lesbian to be on the cover. And so now I'm in a more public facing space where I continue to talk about things that make me different in order to carve out my own expertise and niche, but also, and more so, build community and connect with folks and make purpose out of this space that I am in. And so obviously everything that I am, whether that's Asian, a lesbian, a size 14, everything that's an immigrant, a point of difference, I really try to wear loudly and proudly.
There's so much power in authenticity and humanity. And I think, what you're saying, it really illuminates that when you put people in the conversation who have not been there before, whose voices have not been represented before, they unlock an entirely different vision of what's possible.
Unlock is such a good word there. Yes, 100%.
Because, if it's the same 3 or 4 people who've always been in positions of leadership, whether you're talking about fashion or politics or sports or music or movies and television, no matter what you're talking about, if it's the same 3 or 4 people who've always been represented, they're going to bring one very predictable lens to the work. And as soon as you bring someone else into that equation that looks different, sounds different, has a different lived experience, has different perspective on life, all of a sudden, as we said, you unlock the possibility of what's possible together.
We need to remember that in the face of adversity, in the face of this administration, in the face of a lot of things that are going wrong, we have power as a community. Support your local, women's sports team, independent designer, local politician, and get out there and do it, or do it online, because it's us who hold the power.
So I wonder, can you talk about a character or an artist or someone that you saw that really made you feel seen for the first time?
I had this funny little thing happen where I didn't know I was gay until I was 32. Obviously a mental block and a coping mechanism. I have a lot of moments in hindsight that were like, aha. I remember really liking Xena, the warrior princess.
That was not your first sign? Was Xena the warrior princess?
I mean, you want to talk about intersectionality. I was raised by, Chinese immigrants, and it was very, it was do school, do a good job, and that's that. And so it's kind of really all I thought about. But yeah, Xena crept her way in there. I wish that I had kind of grown up in an era where Margaret Cho was more at the forefront of whoever controls what stars are very popular at the time. Not that she wasn't, I just probably was, I wish I saw more Margaret Cho when I was a teenager. I genuinely think that would have changed the course of my life. Margaret Cho, I love you. And then in terms of Music. I'm loving Reneé Rapp's new album. I think that I'm the biggest fan. I love her down. And I think that music is really reflecting a lot of lesbian experience right now in a way that maybe pop music has not before.
I love that you had named sapphic pop while we're in this moment, because I feel like sapphic pop is having a moment.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
or
you know this. Gay people have the best taste in the world, and I'm so happy that the pop girls are getting their the spotlight on them, because Chappell's new song, Billie Eilish's last album was amazing. In the UK, we've got Kat Burns. Here we've got Doechii and Kalani, and Renee's new album, Bite Me. It's all, King Princess has a new album coming out. The Beaches in Toronto is a great band, and so like the fact that I can even name a few handfuls and then kind of probably have forgot some, which is a good thing, because there's so many that I'm forgetting, is a great sign of progress.
What do you think would be the queerest city in the country, and why?
I think it's Brooklyn. I think New York City, I think specifically Brooklyn. I live in Bed-Stuy. We hang out in Bushwick. I think that I have so many amazingly joyful, resistant, powerful, mad, exhilarating, talented, progressive, and respected friends and idols here in Brooklyn that I would put on the queer all-stars of America, and I think we would win.
I'm not gonna tell the LA girlies you said that. Although,
listen, you know what? You can, because I can walk to Bushwick from here, and that means I'm going out more, and I know that, and I'm giving more money to drag. I'm paying the local dolls, so I would go toe to toe with LA. I would.